Hey YouTube, it's Lori. It's another Monday here at the Flannel Panel channel, and this week it's all about what was your coming out story? My coming out story to me was a little strange. It might be actually kind of atypical for the way I was brought up. I was brought up Roman Catholic, which basically meant that homosexuality was viewed as the most evil thing on earth. So when I turned 16, I actually married what you might call my high school sweetheart, and stayed married to him for 5 years actually. So when I was going through my divorce, my ex-husband knew that I was attracted to women, and I felt it would be best if I told my family rather than have it, come out during the divorce and have my ex-husband make me seem like some kind of a deviant. So my ex-husband thought I was bisexual. I knew I was gay before I even got married. It was the whole idea that the way I was raised, I struggled with my own sexuality for a long time. So I got married to try to deny who I was, and after 5 years everything just fell apart. So during the divorce, I went to my mother's house and I poured her a nice cup of coffee, and I whipped out this huge bundle of PFLAG pamphlets that I had picked up the day before. I put them down on the table and I said, "Mom, I would like to talk to you about this. This is kind of important. I figured you'd like to hear it from me before you heard it during the divorce." And my mother, being who she is, took out one of her extremely long cigarettes and said, "You're gonna tell me you're a lesbian, aren't you?" I almost died laughing. And yes, if you're wondering, that's exactly how she sounds. Kind of like a mixture between Fran Drescher and Edith Bunker. I don't know how many of you remember who Edith Bunker is, but yeah, that's what my mom sounds like. Now, my dad, on the other hand, he was a lot easier. He was living in New York at the time, and I was living in New Mexico. So I called him on the phone, and I let him know that my ex-husband and I were getting a divorce, and that there was going to be some things that I needed to tell him about because I didn't want him finding out through anybody but me. And I said, "Dad, I'm a lesbian." And he said, "Nothing. This is what I heard." So about 30 seconds, maybe 45 seconds later, I was wondering if he hung up on me or if he fell over, what the case was. So I just said, "Dad, what's going on? Are you alright?" He said, oh, no, sorry, I was just thinking about when's the next time we can go to the mall and cruise for chicks together." Ew. Sorry, that was just a really nasty. That's one of those full body shipper. Yeah. Well, I don't know how many of you know this, if you were paying attention during the bio week. I do have a daughter. She's 14 years old now. During the time of the divorce, she was very young. But sometime after the divorce, and she was living with her daddy, I told her that there are going to be people who are different in the world. I didn't tell her I was gay. I didn't say anything about homosexuality. But the way I presented it to my daughter was just that we need to celebrate people's differences and not to let people convince her that things are evil or wrong just because they don't agree with it. But if it makes her feel uncomfortable, then she doesn't have to deal with it. So, out of the 3 people that I came out to, I think the one that was most important to me was my daughter. And even with my daughter, like I said, we never really discussed homosexuality. We just basically talked about how, people live different lives, and hating somebody because they're different is just ignorant. So that's my coming out. The 3 most important people in my life: my mom, my dad, and my daughter. Not particularly in that order. Sorry, Mom and Dad, but my daughter comes first. But that's my coming out story. I don't know if any of you actually watched the response videos from last Monday, but there's a little overly dramatic coming out story as well, actually from somebody I served with when I came out to her. She actually posted that because I'm still friends with her to this day. But anyways, folks, we want to know about your coming out stories. If they're more comical or if you had struggles, we'd like to hear about it. We want to know what issues you faced when you came out. So comment down below, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Comment, subscribe. Oh, and right there, rate. Yeah. Lots and lots and lots and lots of comments and lots and lots and lots of rating. And like I said before, if you haven't already, subscribe. We're going to have a lot of fun here. In closing, I want to once again welcome Pixateer and Sue Papa to the Flannel Panel channel as our newest members of the panel. So, have a good week, folks. See you next week.